Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome to my new weird hairdo that's been birthed because of surgery here. I removed a clunk of energy. Luckily, it was easy, and I feel an opening in my throat happening, which I'm really excited about, which is why I'm hopping on. I kind of like this hairdo. I think I like it. At the beginning, I was like, I just need all the hair away from the tape because it was getting stuck, and I'm just like figuring it out. And this might be my new hairdo. So, hello, it's been a while since I've hopped on YouTube, um, and my voice was settling into coming in a new way with many things that are happening, and I have felt this topic bubble within me for about 2 weeks now, which is usually the time it takes to birth a YouTube video. And so, what I want to talk about and play with and explore today is the parent-child relationship within ourselves, our parent and our inner child, our actual relationship with our parents, and the relationship to from parent to child to your child. And also, even if you don't have children, or yeah, that relationship between adults and children. I want to play with it a little. So please do take everything I say as though I'm exploring perspective. I'm playing with perspective. And as we play with perspective, we can see how any perspective is possible. And so the value I see in, and I find and I discover in playing with my perspective, what it does is it allows me to explore different perspectives, knowing that all perspectives are possible, and then being able to redesign and restructure our unique perspective art for the well-being of all, our the way we see the world, our story, our art piece that is always evolving. It's never good for a perspective pattern to stay stagnant. Why? Because if we play with a pattern of perspective over and over, it turns into a prison. And eventually that prison needs to fall apart. And the most joyous, yummiest, loving way to help a prison perspective fall apart is through playing with it. So see play as like a ride that we're on to lubricate these dense patterns. And you don't need to believe what I believe. I might not even believe what I'm saying tomorrow. But as we play with it, it creates more space to allow kind of new playground patterns of perspectives, ones where our inner child and our innocence can feel safe to explore and discover and wonder and be curious about life again and experience life as a playground rather than something stagnant because the only constant is change. So why not play with changing? And yeah, that was actually one of the first steps in Playful Pathways, which is the journey I've been offering. I've been doing it one-on-one with people, and there's a group coming together, a group experience, which I'm really excited about, which I'll talk more about at the end of this video. But because I rarely speak about a lot about this, and I feel like it's really important to share with more people now. And so I feel like the gift of the group will be more based on the actual methodology of play, which is a system I feel I was gifted by the universe. And I promised that if it brought me into a state of ease, grace, and joy, I would share it with the world. And so I'm ready. The one-on-one experience also is very intimate and deep, and it's its own thing, which I still want to keep alive right now. So that's still available too. Both of those options, there's a way to schedule a curiosity call in my Linktree in the description box, and we can be curious together. And I've been getting a lot, and people I feel have been receiving a lot out of the curiosity session alone. It feels like a form of a session, but more of like a friendly conversation as well. So those curiosity calls are for people who are actually interested with the possibility of collaborating, working together, receiving. And it's been pretty amazing how only those people actually reach out. But also these calls, there is no pressure. It's a dialogue, it's a co-creation. And there's great value in just connecting these days with people, with actual people in relationship. So yeah, just gonna take a little breath into that. I rarely open my videos like that, so playing with being more professional to touch more people. So I want to talk about the why I feel this video is so important for me to share today, even though, again, there's never anything specific I want to say. It's more of like an energy bubbling up that I feel settles in, and then I allow myself to play on this channel, contemplate, play with truth. So the reason why is I visited my family again, and whenever I visit my family, it was after a year. It really shows me how far me playing with life has actually integrated. How much I can play with my parents, how close do I feel to my nieces and nephews, how much peace is there in the family structure. Because my family, for me, has been quite challenging, as I'm sure many of us have challenging experiences with how we grew up. Not all people, I've actually met some people that have these like amazing childhood stories, which is so beautiful. And for those of us that have struggled and known mostly struggle in our lives, um, it's more material to play with. It's more relatability to have. It's more deep roots in the ground that can hold more energy. So I just want to invite you to play with that. You know, what if all this dense energy, this contraction, this restriction, this struggle, this suffering is like energy that's been cooking up and can be ready to blossom into things, into branches and leaves that like touch people. So yeah, that was kind of like another side note. I'm not very linear. Ta-da! So my why behind this video today was I was playing with my nephews, and my first nephew has the same birthday as one of my favorite teachers' guides online, which is Feel Good. They have the same birthday. And now that my nephew is growing up, he's beginning to like share things with me. Like I can see auras, I can see, I'm like, oh, you see my aura? He's like, no, it's the inner light. And he's a very psychic child, um, very, very special kid. And I was just so excited to connect with him in these ways. And like we were playing with talking to trees together, and he told me my aura was blue and green, which is so trippy because I actually had a photo taken of me. There are cameras that can catch an auric field, and it came out being blue and green. And I worked with a karma light body doctor, he calls himself, which he really is. I don't know why I did that. But he actually told me my aura is blue and green too. So I'm like, wow, my nephew sees my aura, and he was like, and your dog, Bella, she's purple, and grandpa is rainbow. And I was like so excited and was having all these like mystical conversations with him. And I was so excited when my dad came over. I was like, oh my God, I love my dad, by the way. Like, I would never want another father, but my sweet innocent dad, I was like, oh my God, like he could read your aura. Like he said you're rainbow. And my dad got really scared, and he was like, don't talk about that. Like, don't talk about that in this house. Like, this is your sister's child. And like, he was scared. I was, at the beginning, I got triggered because I was like, whoa, I grew up with this. Like, not to open up how much I see as a child. And so I did feel a little reactive. But then I looked at my father, and my father is this kind of soul too. He's so sensitive and sees things, and he wasn't accepted for that as a child, I don't think. We haven't talked about it much. I just have met my grandfather, and I saw the family structure, and so I felt a lot of compassion for my father of not feeling welcome in the world. Whether he's aware of it or not, it doesn't matter. It's what I feel. And also for myself, I felt compassion for myself and my own journey of accepting who I am, coming out of my ego closet that helped me survive in this planet. And I told him, I was like, but why not, Dad? Like, isn't that exciting? Like he could see your auric field, your inner light, he calls it. And he was like, no, like he had a hard time in school. Basically the energy was like, don't inspire him to be different. Like this is dangerous for the system he's in. And it's kind of true because like he's a very physical boy. He's very psychic, and also boys have a lot of energy, so they want to feel their strength. And school systems don't really support that enough, the regular school systems. There are many school systems that do now support that for children more, but sadly, like they wanted to medicate him, right? And my brother's been medicated, and this is why my why behind why I show up at all is I chose a very different path. I chose to make peace with my pain because it felt like the most real thing, the most authentic, and I didn't find a space for people to hold that for me. And so I've devoted my life to exploring what this pain is of what I feel on this planet and for the well-being of all, and finding a way for it to be playful, creating a way through my own being, through it for the well-being of all. And so a big part of my pain was that I didn't fit in or belong as a child, and I was considered way too sensitive. And I felt like I had a secret world where I could see everybody's pain. I could see their shadows that they didn't want to love or look at. And I felt like I lived in a world of zombies, really. I saw people as gray. And yeah, I fell into a deep depression when I was 9. Went through a lot of physical issues when I was 10 with my skin and my lungs. And I feel like this was a full circle because I went back to skin doctors to help me with an energy I wanted to release. So it's all beautiful by the end of our life, the end of our lives within this life. But yeah, it was sad for me to confront that sometimes I forget about my why behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm like, I could just play into a world that's perfect, like nothing needs to be done. And then this purpose of mine for the people, this passion I have to play with the systems we were born into enough in order for our own inner child, our own innocence to feel safe on this planet, and also for the children, the actual children, to make this planet more playful, more possible, with more wonder and more curiosity, to treasure the imagination of children, because imagination is a direct hand-in-hand friend with creation, and we're birthing children that are creators, and it's a different octave of souls, these generations coming through, and we need to be able to be playful enough to embrace that because it changes us, and the adults go through very deep grief processes as the old systems collapse and the new ones settle in through the next generations. And there's a battle almost between parent-child, and it's out of love. That's the saddest, sweetest thing. It's all love. Like I see my sisters battling and fighting. I'm like, oh my God, it's all love. And even the war in the Middle East, it's like the saddest tragedy of love, but it all comes back to love. It's all always seen as love. And I'd like to make this pain coming into peace playful. So I want to bring some peace by acknowledging and playing with how we can see what's happening. And if it's true for you, whoa, I have a ringing in my ear. I love it. It's like a sign of alignment for me. So I want to play with acknowledging certain ways of seeing things. And if it's true for you, like truth isn't for everyone the same type of truth or way looking at truth. Just allow yourself to receive the medicine of relief that you might experience through playing with these perspectives. So these systems that children are born into, that many of us were born into, are designed to not have a moment to be able to go into imagining what else is possible, because it would destroy school, it would destroy the system, it would destroy the structure of the home, of survival. And I feel like the systems that we're born into, many of us, and are still standing, are based on repression and organization and survival, like keeping the machine alive. And it feels like a prison, right? Any pattern played with a lot or too much, like if we repeat a pattern or way of being over and over, it solidifies, becomes more and more dense and so solid, and it matters so much. It's become so much matter that it turns into a prison where the inner innocence and child is suffocated and evolution cannot occur. It almost feels cancerous. Like I literally feel it like it's cancer cells on the body of the planet when I go into big cities or see what's happening to parents' nervous systems because they just want to survive. I'm just like, oh my God, this is such a prison. Like, and It saddens me to see how simple it could be to not only um, make it more easy, but to actually shift the structures we live in easy, graceful, and joyous ways. It like doesn't need to be such a big deal. And this is what the Playful Pathways transmission is about, is making this process of dying structures into new structures for humanity. It could be playful, it could be fun, it could be creative. It doesn't have to be that much of a struggle. There is pain, there is grief, but that doesn't feel like unnecessary suffering and a struggle. So these are some keys of playful pathways that we play with, like pain, peace, the way to pain, to the process from pain to peace. It's like all a puzzle that I could talk about for days. But right now, I just wanted to mention these, like P's are part of playful pathways. The words that begin with P's we play with, and it starts shifting like a snow globe how we perceive this beautiful planet that is actually a very prismic planet. It's plasma, it's prismic, it's infinite possibility, playground. It's actually a planet designed for us to explore curiosity and wonder while having physical forms, while being unique specks of source. And so many of us were born into a prison. And if you don't fit into the prison, you get medicated. That's how I see it and how I've experienced it. Because you get medicated because the system can't hold you. It can't hold you. And so if there's not a structure supporting the child, the system that the child is playing with turns into a battle. And they're like, we need to medicate you because you're disrupting the system. Like the system's going to collapse if we follow your leadership child, whether that be physical energy wanting to be expressed. Like there's no system to support the child in their natural curiosity, wonder, and imagination, which makes them a creator being. And so they don't have capacity to hold it, so they medicate. And the system doesn't want to be seen because it doesn't want to die and it doesn't know any better. So there's a lot of tenderness in this. This isn't about the enemy. Nothing is the enemy. It's not good or bad, right or wrong. That's like endless war. It's more about acknowledging the parts that are played in our human story and seeing things for what they are with love. And so this moment where my dad is like, don't, and I freaking love my father. He's a freaking angel. And we fought a little in a way. I was like, but I want to talk to him about these things. And so what if he doesn't fit into the school? Like, and my dad was in so much fear that he just, when I told him no, I was like, I'm going to talk about these things with him. And it just felt sad to say no to my father's love and care in that way and protection, right? So I took a walk with the boy, and it was, yeah, and just such a gift to be with children. They're such a medicine. All, all adults, even without children, need to play with kids. That would resolve a lot of needed therapy and such. So this concept, like children are a burden, we need to survive. Like parents are in this pattern where what they need most is relief and relaxation so they can get out of survival patterns because they care so much for the child that they'll do anything to help the child fit in out of love. Like that is an undeniable challenge parents have. So the parents are playing parts in maintaining a system that they're struggling and suffering in. They don't have relaxation and relief. Their nervous system is activated. They're getting addicted to the cortisol. They're playing in these prison pattern systems that where the education fits the jobs, it's like a whole thing. And so what is happening is the children are disrupting these systems and being called all these things, ADHD, autistic, whatever. It's not, I'm honoring how that is perceived too, because that's a way for the system to relate with new different energies. But if we look and play with the system that the children are leading us into, the children stop being a burden. They become the guides, they become the healers, they become the next generation that guides us into our own healing of our relationship, not only to our inner children, but to our parents and our ancestral healing. And so not talking about this doesn't help, right? And I'm not speaking from a place that I'm sure what the solution is. When I'm in environments of families, I do feel like I can help navigate. Um, but bringing acknowledgement and bringing this to the light already resolves 80% of the problem. That's what I love saying, like honest acknowledgement. We don't need to activate the mind to solve problems. Just acknowledging it and putting light on truth and being honest resolves 80%. The alchemy and digestion happens in the body. So just feel that for a moment. What if we can just play with, just by hearing these words, just by feeling whatever resonance you're feeling, which I'm sure you're feeling resonance if you're watching for 20 minutes. Thank you for being here. Allow that alchemy to happen for a moment in a 0 point PlayStation. Just notice your breath, natural rhythm. You can close your eyes or keep them open just for a few more moments. Play with what if just by hearing these words, not even understanding with your mind, there's a digestion process happening. Allow the body to do what it knows how to do best, which is heal and remember. Your body is designed to hold your authentic soul signature, your innocence, your speck of source before all the programming is your innocence. Downloading, you know the difference between and how to discern between innocence versus being gullible. If you'd like to receive that knowing of how to discern between the two, you can say yes. Well, I wasn't expecting to do a theta programming here, but that's what happened. Ta-da! So acknowledging this thing is like, okay, I'm beginning to play with like, what if more parents knew this, that they could relax and they could let the death occur, like not of the physical body, but the shedding process of the systems. What if they knew their children would be cared for, have all the food they need? What if parents had the support they needed to rest, relax, rejuvenate? Not about doing more. Parents do so much. What if there was a way to support parents in their rest, rejuvenation, and rebirth? And what if the adults that didn't have children and needed to connect with their own inner child had a space to like play with the kids to receive healing from the kids? What if there was a space for all the kids to get what they don't get in school in that space? Like all the inspiration for their creativity, their body, like more Waldorfy things, Montessori things, like a space for them to explore themselves. And so this is like a huge dream I have, and I've been allowing myself to talk about it more, but I've had this vision with me for since this whole journey began, before I became an actress and worked at Waldorf and before I trained in all the healing methodology, like I gathered all that, but this vision has been with me my whole life. And maybe even the vision will provide, maybe even talking about the vision, I never thought of this, will provide a gift of like actually like being in that imaginative place. Like, what if there were these centers in massive cities where parents can relax, let go, know their children are safe, so they don't need to be without their phones, with their phones, I mean, right? They had a place to just only relaxation technology, because the relaxation is a calm nervous system. It's what the child needs most. And the parent needs to know most that their children is evolving, cared for, and taken, that they're taken care of. And if something happens, they would know, right? So I see these play pause centers, pause play centers, where there's a section for the parents in a way to die, to have their ego deaths properly, to get out of survival mode. Not about doing, but about becoming, relaxing, allowing their soul to come through. And what if there was a section for the kids where they get everything they don't get in school? So The parents get what they can't get at home when they're with the children in the houses, and the children get what they don't get in school, and then there are people that can come that can hang out, and all the kids get to meet from the different schools, and it's kind of like community centers, and there are all these like abandoned businesses and office buildings now, which will accumulate more. And these, in a way, these cities that don't have space to change, it's like these prisons. Their spaces to play there. Their spaces for the parents to play with new ways of being and becoming through relaxation and rest. And the children get to get what they don't get in school. So it's like not destroying a whole system to create a new one. It's like putting pockets of pause and play in big cities, and the children, they get to learn things, like build things and like play with different textures and um create play with instruments and like play like their different pods where the children can play with light and dark, with like their dexterity skills, like creating things, and there are adults there too that are like, oh my God, I need more play in my life. I'm a play specialist. I know how to hold a space of play. People that have incorporated play fully as a practice in their life with the kids. And so they get to go with what they need back home. And it's creating a culture, right, in these prison places on the planet. Play pockets. It's like putting probiotics in places where there's parasitic energy, right? Or like whatever. It's like creating little health play pods in cities because we're all one, right? Like when I lived, it's like, why do I care about the cities? I don't want to live in cities, right? When I was living in the jungle, completely alone, very at peace, very basic, simple food, was losing more and more weight, getting stronger and stronger with very little. And I was like, great, I reached my heaven. And in that heaven, I just couldn't forget about the people that weren't living or knowing peace like I did. And in my meditations, I was guided to come back to America, to the cities. And it's been really hard. And I'm happy I did it because I'm most excited about this. Like, this is my passionate purpose. Like, how can we bring more play to the world? Like, it's so simple for parents to like feel like their children aren't a burden. They're allowing their children to impact them more. Like, there's a support system. So the parents know they're caring for their kids, getting what they need. The children are getting what they need. And like, it's like a triangle, like the adults without kids, the kids, and the parents, and it feels like these probiotic play portals um in prison places where there's prison energy, like, when am I going to get out of this reality? It's like, here, you can come let go of your reality, and you don't need to destroy the reality you're in, and it will easily process and integrate into their lives. I was not planning on sharing that vision right now. I'm just like opening my voice and allowing it to free flow. So if you would like to partake in that vision, honestly, come play. Come play with me. I've told it to a few people in person, and they're like, "Oh, that's like too big of a vision. Like, you need to start practical, like go to libraries and stuff like that," which I love the idea of, and also the bigness of this vision. It feels so important that me not saying it is like me not being authentic. So I hope that even me sharing that vision, if you're a parent or if you, I'm sure there's some nuggets in there. Just playing with that as though it already exists. And so this whole system of children being medicated and numbed for being who they are and being labeled, it has to stop. I have made peace with the system yesterday when I chose to have something removed from my body through the system. As a child, I was so repressed. I had skin issues all the time and was medicated for years on very strong medications to try to heal my skin issue. Cortisone, steroids, antibiotics, steroid inhalers, cortisone inhalers. I had abscesses, so painful, constantly on my skin and getting surgeries on my skin. And when in my teens, I started being curious. I was like, what if, like this loop that I'm in, I would pray. I was like, someday I'll have normal skin. Someday I'll have normal skin. Please, God, someday I'll have normal skin because I couldn't go swimming because everybody thought I was diseased. And I started getting really fat and getting stretch marks from the medications. And I was hospitalized to try to help figure out, like, meetings of 20 top skin doctors would have meetings about me. And it was scary, as a child. And they hospitalized me and wrapped me like a mummy and would say, like, she's not getting better. We don't know what it is. She's never going to get better. And I was in an adult section in the hospital and I was 10 and I had a panic attack. And then they started giving me anti-anxiety medications. So I started being curious as a teenager because I saw I was in a prison loop. It was never going to change. And so I started playing with curiosity and asking questions and like starting to jog to angry music and starting to let my body come alive. And I was like, what if there's a connection between my emotions and my body? What if, and my brother told me once, like, abscesses might have something to do with anger. And I looked up, like, I don't know. I went on this whole journey and I realized that my emotions and my body and my energy all had a correlation. And it was like a puzzle unfolding. And I thought I was crazy. And people were like, you're weird, you're crazy. Like I wasn't in an environment where, and it wasn't a time where videos about these things or books, it wasn't available to me. I was purely playing with my imagination. And I started healing. Stopped using the creams and taking the pills. And I like a person that was miracles started happening. Like a person I knew was like, you know, um, dairy can really create asthma. I stopped drinking dairy and stopped using my steroid inhalers that were just weakening my lungs, and the medications were weakening my skin. So I didn't have a choice. I had to play because the prison was killing me. And then I started discovering, like, it's been years of a journey. It's been like 2 decades. And then hearing about Abraham Hicks and then hearing about Joe Dispenza, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. And through this process of healing and clearing, I became resentful at the system. I was like, I'm never going to a skin doctor again. Like, oh my God, they poisoned me. Oh my God, da, da, da. And I was like in a fight energy. This isn't about a fight energy. I feel like where we're at and like more truth being revealed, it's so easy to make other people bad or blame them or like, oh, the good people, the bad people, and this is what they've been doing to us. Like that ends. That has to end too. So there's certain cycles that play out and like life is a spiral. So it's like a spiral, rising, rising. And if we're not rising or making subtle shifts, playing with subtle shifts, we're just going to be looping. And that loop turns into a calcification, a cancerous, deadly calcification that has to be removed. It's all energy, like in the quantum field. It's not about good or bad or right or wrong. Like those patterns of blaming and victimhood and making someone the enemy also has to end too. And I think this might be one of my last videos referring to people who are still in that process. I'm going to be shifting, so this feels like a last note to the soul still battling, blaming, victimizing. That has to end too. I'm going to be playing with people more and speaking to people that are like ready to play creating new structures because they know that already. I don't know why it felt important to say that. Oh, throat opening up. Yeah. So this whole pattern, so what I'm saying is I've already made peace with the system, right? Like I felt like I wanted to remove this energy from my neck that was growing, and the skin doctors were my angels. Like it was so beautiful, the skin. So I was like, oh my God, what a beautiful journey. Like I was born into the system, all the trauma, the suffering, the repression has allowed my soul, I feel like my soul chose it to create a pathway of play for the people to play with it all without needing to be in a state of war anymore. And I know the depths of pain of war because I grew up in a state of war. Like New York, it was muggings and blood on the doorstep shootings, like always in constant war. Like I know the real meat of war. I'm not saying it in a spiritual, philosophical way. I grew up in the Middle East, and so it was always war there. I almost died from bombs and shootings multiple times. I can't believe I'm still alive, but I know I experienced that for a reason. And the reason is so I would know the depth of these painful things. So also there would be a trust with the people of the value of play. Because the only way I'm in a life now where I feel healthier than ever, happier than ever, more free than I ever imagined I would feel in this life is because of my imagination and playing with my imagination and letting go of what people, if they would think I'm mentally ill or sick or like crazy, like tons of those projections that people had on me in my life. And the gift of it is that like I get to be a play specialist, you know? And so I don't have resentment to the system. That's what I'm saying. Like I went through a full cycle with this yesterday of like, oh my God, thank God for all of it. I love doing this shit. Like I get to say I'm a play specialist, like damn. And birth a methodology and like create a movement. Like, wow, I would not want to give up of any of that, right? It's all equal players in this play of life. I was checking my mic is still on. So it all gets to be love. It all gets to be beautiful. We don't need enemies. We don't even need enemies with certain parts of ourselves or other people. Like it's all, everybody's acting out a play, right? And even though I don't have resentment toward the system anymore, the cycle of medicating children for not fitting into these structures that are falling apart must end. And this must end because that pattern has been played out enough. And the law of free will make sure that these children have free will and choose differently. We've played that game long enough. And we played the game long enough of our own inner parent abusing our own innocence. And we've played long enough blaming parents. And so, because it's time for certain patterns to end, and this is my oracle self speaking in this way, allowing her to come through more, we need to be able to play with new ways of being. Which is why I'm shamelessly going to say, come do playful pathways, whether that be one-on-one or in the group Coming Alive. It's a process of 9 weeks. Oh my God, I'm getting a download. So if it's one-on-one, actually forget it. I'll say it in a different video. Currently, the journeys are 9 weeks. No, no, no. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's 3 months. Sorry, 9 meetings. And playful pathways one-on-one is more of a process of like a wash load that's unique. My consciousness playing with the other person, we're playing together, washing through play all the prisons as we play. Like the play becomes a malleability, like where we see all is possible. It reaches a deep place of like pain. The pain becomes peace, and then your playground, your natural playground, that's your design of how your body operates in this world, settles in naturally. It feels like remembering who you always were. So that's the process of playful pathways. And a group is coming alive. So the group is going to be more like about the methodology, because I want people to have these tools that I feel I was gifted by the universe of how to play and help others play. And so because I don't see right now, it's totally possible that somebody will reach out and be like, oh, I want to fund your play centers. And if you're one of them, please do. Let's hop on a curiosity call. Curiosity call in the description box. And but while this is happening, like the closest step I have toward actually spreading these codes is through Playful Pathways containers. So a group is coming alive. It actually might be longer than 3 months and 9 meetings with the group, so we can cover all the exercises. And Playful Pathways as a group container is going to be more like what I'm calling in is people that are like, yep, like I'm learning this to share it with the people. So it's very different than one-on-one. One-on-one is a very deep alchemical process of traveling through the layers of life and death and rebirthing your innocence, and that's its own thing. I feel like the group is different. I'm calling in people, I'm inviting people that are like, oh yeah, I know the value in this for the planet, and I care about this, and I'm ready to like show up and actually like get the downloads while like doing it on my own. So it's very different than the one-on-one. I almost feel like they're two different offerings. And for both of these, if this awakens something in you, you feel like you've been calling it in, then yes, again, there is a Linktree, Linktree link in the description box in my bio, and in there you'll see Curiosity Call available. And so we can hop on a call and talk about what that is. And I love doing Curiosity Calls, so I'm just keeping them up. It's been such a beautiful journey. This was a very interesting video. I do feel that my throat is like just expressing beyond my mind. And so if you've watched this whole video, 41 minutes, oh my God. Wow. I'd say this is one of the longer videos that have come through. I'm really grateful for you investing your energy and attention here. Your attention creates worlds. It's the most valuable currency on the planet. So thank you for bringing value to this video in your experience. I am so deeply grateful that you met me here. Thank you. I don't think I express how grateful I am. Like even when I see a like or like a subscriber, I'm like, whoa, okay, there's a reason to show up more. I don't do it for validation. How I create content has always been like, I could die tomorrow, might as well play today. I want the people to know this. But when I do see that support, it really means a lot to me. And when I take a moment to like, wow, people are watching this, thank you. I'm really, really grateful. It's my passionate purpose. So thank you for bringing value to what I'm so passionate about. Whether you worked with me and played, whether we played together, whether you're just watching this, whether like I want to know that you're there. So yeah, let me know by liking or commenting or subscribing, because like those little actions also, they mean a lot. We're so powerful, and it begins through the subtleties. So I definitely want to know if you were with me till the end, which is a new beginning. This felt like a very different video. We're gonna go now, and kind of want to show you a piece of art I actually made yesterday. It was my first collage that I made just for play without turning it into a vision board. So I just love it. Do you see? It's like a bird, a mirror in a dress. She's on a swing, butterflies and water. Just love it. Okay. Sending so much love.